Hi, I'm Chris Martinson of Peak Prosperity. It is Friday, December 19th, and we have a lot to update you on this week. Little backstory first. My grandfather, Arthur Hamlin, was president of a little bank in upstate New York called Canandaigua National Bank. And while he was president of that bank, he had the opportunity to serve on the Federal Reserve Board of the New York Federal Reserve under Paul Volcker, as it turned out. And he would not at all recognize the Federal Reserve we have today. Back then, banking was a much more sedate affair. It wasn't all run through with speculation. There weren't these gigantic behemoth, too big to fail banks who needed bailouts and a special bat line to the Federal Reserve. And he wouldn't have understood a Federal Reserve that felt it was its job to manage unemployment rates, the overall economy, the price of money at all moments in time, including driving interest rates into negative territory. And in particular, this whole idea that the Fed is now responsible for making sure that stock and bond prices stay persistently elevated for a long time. That is just such an incredible amount of intervention. In fact, it's gotten so obvious that what we can see now is that in USA Today, on the front page, they're talking about Fed to the rescue. We're talking about this massive, nearly 800-point run in the Dow Jones over just 2 days. In response to a very tiny amount of weakness, the Federal Reserve comes out and talks up the stock prices again because I guess you can't have falling prices. That's just something the Fed can't have anymore. So here's my concern. When you have a Federal Reserve that thinks it's responsible for setting the prices of the overall equity and bond markets, you are so far down the rabbit hole that it's hard to know where to start on this. But the risks are extraordinary. We've never been in a situation like this before. Now, this was a really amazing, unusual year. If you come to our website, Peak Prosperity, what you're going to find is a year-end review by Dave Collum. It's just huge, it's funny, it's witty, it's very exhaustive and complete, and it's well worth a read. We've got that right on the front page there, freely available to the public. Come by and check that out. So that's the 2014 year-end review. And we have a two-parter by Charles Hugh Smith looking at how the geopolitics of the world is changing. If you didn't pay attention this week and notice when Putin came out, he had this big 3.5-hour press conference. He talked about a lot of things, including that Russia is prepared to weather whatever economic storm is coming towards it. They're blaming the West. They think the West has a hand in such things as attacking the ruble, having the price of oil fall, certainly other things that go well beyond the sanctions that we know about that the West, principally the United States, levied upon a lot of the top advisors around Putin's closest circle. So we're looking at all of that. It's a tremendous amount of things that are actually occurring right now. But I think, as we look at this, the price of oil is still one of our big themes as we're going forward. So here we are coming in towards the end of 2014. As I look into 2015, the things we'll be tracking most closely will be energy, which is something we track closely anyway, but it's very important as we look at that going forward, and what's happening geopolitically. Those two pieces are really important. So those are both on the website right now. There'll be more information about that as we go forward. I want to wish you the very happiest of holidays at this point in time and a very Merry New Year. We'll be back next week with our last update of 2014, and then, wow, 2015 already. So once again, please join us at Peak Prosperity, and if you haven't already, you can subscribe to this channel right here. Thanks.